لبيك اللهم لبيك لبيك لا شريك لك لبيك إن الحمد والنعمة لك الملك لا شريك لك لبيك اللهم لبيك لبيك لا شريك لك لبيك إن الحمد والنعمة لك الملك لا شريك لك لبيك اللهم لبيك لبيك لا شريك لك لبيك إن الحمد والنعمة لك الملك لا شريك لك لبيك اللهم لبيك لبيك لا شريك لك لبيك إن الحمد.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuhu. Welcome to another edition of the program As You Answer the Call. I am Fatima Umaru Hadija, your regular host. The registration of prospective pilgrims for 2020 Hajj is ongoing. To carry out this assignment diligently, the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria, NAHCON, has put in place critical guidelines for the officials and pilgrims to follow. What are these guidelines? That is the focus of our program tonight. But as usual, we shall also feature our regular segments, including the NAHCON News Diary, where we take reports on activities of NAHCON Chairman, the agency, and other stakeholders. These and more shortly after the break. Stay tuned. Thanks for being there. What event is making the news at the National Hajj Commission with its stakeholders across the country? Our news diary brings you details as compiled and presented from our studio. The National Hajj Commission of Nigeria, NAHCON, has extolled its retired staff for their commitment, honesty and respect for civil service rules. NAHCON Acting Chairman Barrister Abdullah Mukhtar Mohammed said this during a valedictory send-off at the conference room of Hajj House in Abuja. Prominent among the retired staff was the Commissioner's former head of Inspectorate and Compliance Division, Dr. Aliyu Tanko.
So I must say the quality of commitment, honesty in job, and consultation imbibed by Dr. during his active days in service is something that everybody should emulate. Today, he has retired, not tired. It is my hope and also prayers that the incoming board will find people like Dr. Aliyu Tanko not as a material that should be kept aside, but material that should be re-engaged in different capacity to assist them so that the experience will continue to flow.
Speaking on behalf of the retired staff, Dr. Aliyu Tanko appreciated the support they enjoyed, which he said enabled them to succeed in their different callings. He said, beyond the support, commitment to duty is another factor to a successful career.
If you want to enjoy working in the Hajj industry, as we did, the secret is you simply take it as an ibadah.
Highlight of the event was presentation of gifts to the retired staff.
Takbir.
The acting chairman of the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria, NAHCON, Barrister Abdullah Mukhtar Mohammed, has reiterated the commitment of the Commission to work harmoniously with the media in ensuring that Hajj activities are reported professionally. The chairman stated this at the annual Independent Hajj Reporters Hajj Excellence Award and Lecture Ceremony. The event was organized to honor officials that excelled in services delivery to pilgrims.
With the advent or coming up of independent Hajj reporters, a lot of sanity has been injected into reportage of Hajj. They need our support, they need our encouragement. But in reporting Hajj, there are a lot of things that has to be observed and respected.
While appreciating President Muhammadu Buhari's government for restructuring Hajj operations in Nigeria, the chairman called on those who were honored to do more to enhance service delivery to pilgrims.
Let's not forget that the pilgrims who performed this Hajj, they paid with their hard-earned money. I believe they deserve nothing less, but they should get value for their money. They cannot get value for their money until and unless the managers stand up and leap above board to perform their job diligently without fear or favor.
Speaking at the event, National Coordinator of the Independent Hajj Reporters, Ibrahim Mohammed, said the awards are meant to encourage officials to do more for the benefit of pilgrims.
It is our hope that those who are being honored today will take it as an appreciation of their hard work and a challenge for them to continue to render quality service to their pilgrims.
The Saudi ambassador to Nigeria, Adnan Bostaji, and other dignitaries at the award ceremony appreciated the role being played by the media in Hajj reportage. The ambassador said the Saudi government will continue to work with all stakeholders for the smooth conduct of Hajj operations. Officials were presented awards for excelling in their various endeavors during the 2019 Hajj exercise. They include Yobe State Governor Mai Mala Buni as the Hajj Governor of the Year, Bauchi State Governor Bala Muhammad as the most supportive Governor of the Year, Katsina State 2019 Amirul Hajj Muntari Lawal emerged as the best leader of state delegation. New Kaduna State Overseer Sanid Al-Hatu is best head of operations. Others are the Saudi ambassador to Nigeria Adnan Bostaji, recognized as the best personality of the year. Ibrahim Abba, a member of the 2019 medical team, was honored as Medical Personnel Service 2019 Hajj, and Abubakar Jidda Usman of Freedom Radio as the best Hajj reporter of the year. States also received awards in the following areas. Kaduna State is the best in pilgrims coordination, Kano State best in luggage management, Kwara State emerged best in pilgrims enlightenment, and Niger State best in pilgrims welfare. There were also honors for Qibla International Service as the best tour operator. The Nation newspaper came out as the newspaper of the year in Hajj reportage, and Rahama Radio is the radio of the year. The newly appointed overseer of Kaduna State Pilgrims Welfare Board, Sani Musa Dalhatu, has promised to introduce reforms in line with the policies of NAHCON in order to enhance Hajj administration in the state. The reforms include making the board financially independent. The overseer stated this after taking over the leadership of the board from his predecessor, Imam Hussein Tsogo Ikara in Kaduna.
My intention is to take this board to the next level. Globally, the Hajj is changing. It's changing. If you can look at the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria, NAHCON, under the leadership of the outgoing chairman, Mala Abdullah Mukhtar, it has brought a lot of changes, a lot of reforms, where now the National Hajj Commission stands on its feet.
He reiterated his stance to carry all staff along for the successful operations of the board.
Alhamdulillah, if you are just tuning in, the program is As You Answer the Call, a public enlightenment presentation on the activities of the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria, NAHCON. For effective pilgrims registration, the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria, NAHCON, has provided the guidelines which spell out the roles of the state officials as well as the pilgrims, all of which aim at ensuring smooth and hitch-free Hajj exercise for the year 2020. In our next segment, Spotlight, we shall shed light on the provisions contained in the guidelines and how it will make positive impact on the registration process. Do keep watching.
لبيك اللهم لبيك لبيك لا شريك لك لبيك إن الحمد والنعمة لك والملك لا شريك لك.
Registration for 2020 Hajj prospective pilgrims is ongoing across the country. The exercise is in line with NAHCON policies. For this purpose, it has come up with guidelines which officials and prospective pilgrims are expected to strictly adhere to in the course of registration. The guidelines are meant to achieve the objective of having a reliable and effective database for proper coordination of Nigerian pilgrims.
The National Hajj Commission of Nigeria in 2019, precisely in October,
came up with what is known as Pilgrims Registration Guideline, which were sent to the State Pilgrims Welfare Board all over the country and all the private tour operators in order to guide them on how to register the pilgrims. This has become necessary because the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria wants to have a database on all the pilgrims and an effective information on each and every pilgrim.
In conformity with the improved technology. Most of the activities now is online. Unlike in the past when you do it in form of analog or you start filling documents with freehand or paper, it's not obtainable again. If you are an intended pilgrim, you paid your money, on the day you register in the States, automatically your name will be reflected in the National Hajj Commission portal, and through the inline, National Hajj Commission will transmit to the Saudi Arabia portal. So before you even arrive Saudi Arabia for the Hajj, your name is already registered and identified with Saudi Arabia.
Before issuing the guidelines, NAHCON had met with relevant stakeholders such as state boards and tour operators to work out the modalities of implementation.
Before the commencement of registration of the pilgrims, the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria usually invite the State Pilgrims Welfare Board and agencies. We also invite the private tour operator for a meeting. After the meeting, the guidelines will be spelled out to the state and the tour operator.
The registration guidelines include requirements for registration centers, registration procedures, payment procedures, and conditions for rejecting an intending pilgrim.
Every State Pilgrims Welfare Board must open a registration center. After opening a registration center, each and every pilgrim that wants to perform Hajj must go to this center and register with his own international passport, giving the information where he is coming from.
Prospective pilgrims are to fulfill the following requirements among others. Must be a Muslim, must be known and has valid Nigerian travel documents with national identity number. Must have a passport with validity period of at least 6 months from the date of departure to Saudi Arabia. Must also have basic understanding of the religion and conscious of the obligatory Hajj rites to be observed. Must be matured, sane, healthy, mentally and physically fit to undertake the journey. Others are, must not have been involved in any act of gross misconduct in previous Hajj or Umrah. All prospective pilgrims must be physically present. No registration by proxy. Must provide a reputable guarantor with documentary evidence. Similarly, NAHCON has put in place the necessary measures to ensure strict compliance with the guidelines, and where there is a breach, the Commission takes necessary actions.
We will continue to monitor the State Pilgrims Welfare Board and the tour operators now that our zonal offices are fully manned with staff, so they will be able at the time of registration go out to the registration center and ensure that these procedures are being complied with.
Where there is a default, either by the State Pilgrim Welfare Board or a tour operator, there are sanctions. These sanctions have various degrees depending on the type of violation committed. We have sanctions like you can be asked to pay a fine. At times the Commission can suspend the state from participating in the Hajj activities or the tour operator, or we can refuse to renew his license, or we can even revoke the license entirely.
The guidelines also empower NAHCON to disqualify any prospective pilgrim on account of some of the following reasons: providing false information, failing to complete his payment within the stipulated time limit, or that he is suspected to have the intention of absconding, among others. Taking such measures is also in line with NAHCON's Act, which says, where the Commission is satisfied that a person has committed any offence or misconduct specified by the Commission in the regulations made pursuant to Section 24 of this Act, the Commission may disqualify that person from undertaking any pilgrimage organized or supervised by the Commission pursuant to this Act, and the disqualification shall have effect for such period as the Commission may specify.
The registration officer may refuse to register a pilgrim if he found out that the pilgrim has not provided an accurate information about himself, because doing so might lead to abscondment of the pilgrims. So we are wary of that. We have to make sure that that pilgrim, we cross-check the information given at the center.
For the success of the registration exercise, the guidelines impose on pilgrims' welfare boards the responsibility of ensuring that their registration centers are well equipped with all the necessary registration tools and are located in secure and conducive environments. While NAHCON insists that priority attention is given to first-timers, the Commission also makes it clear that the only acceptable procedure of payment is through the use of a bank draft or e-payment into the designated account of the affected State Pilgrims Welfare Board. No cash payment will be accepted.
MashaAllah, you are still watching as you answer the call. Earlier on the program, we took some news reports as it relates to activities of the National Hajj Commission. We have also given an insight to registration guidelines laid down to provide for a Hajj-free Hajj exercise. Coming up next is the segment Making the Hajj, where Sheikh Hasib Noor continues the discussions on the spirit of Hajj. Let's hear him.
Undertaking the Hajj provides Muslims the noble opportunity to seek Allah's blessings and forgiveness. On Making the Hajj tonight, Sheikh Nasib Noor is still our guest. He explains what the Hajj represents.
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَتَزَوَّدُوا فَغِنَّ خَيْرَ الزَّادِ التَّقْوَى. When it comes to Hajj, He says to mankind, take your provisions, bring what you need to bring the necessities that you need to take on Hajj, but when you do so, remember that خَيْرَ الزَّادِ التَّقْوَى. The best provision, the best baggage you can take is taqwa. Is taqwa, God consciousness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. To know that why you're going, what is the objective of why you're going, is taqwa. خَيْرَ الزَّادِ التَّقْوَى. The best provision is the provision of God consciousness, reflection of Allah, knowing Allah is part of your life.
Praying at the Kaaba brings Muslims closer to Allah.
This feeling of closeness, this magnetic pull of the Kaaba, which was in the dua of Ibrahim, oh Allah, make their hearts pulled towards it. Tahwi ilay. And that tahwi ilayhim, which means that this Kaaba has a magnetic spiritual pull, like if you were to go on top of a building and you throw an egg from the top. Well, can you stop the egg from falling? Of course you can, unless you stop it with a net or something. It will continue to fall until it breaks. You know why? Because of the pull of gravity. So the Kaaba has that gravity in spiritual pull of people's hearts.
In the course of the Hajj, pilgrims visit the Prophet's masjid and his grave. Doing so has its significance.
You go to Medina and you give your salam and you stand in front of the presence of Al-Habib alayhi salatu wassalam. Some of the scholars, they used to like to go to Medina first. Some of them, they like to go to Medina after. It is up to you. It doesn't matter. Either way, it is a practice which helps us bring nearness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through His Al-Habib, through His most beloved alayhi salatu wassalam. You will get a chance to stand in front of a Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam and you give your salam to him and you pay your respects to him, and then you turn to the Qibla and you make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Sheikh Nasib Noor says the assemblage of the faithful during the Hajj is a reflection about death and the Day of Judgment.
Among the greatest days of Hajj is the day of Arafah, where it's the day of gathering and dua. Everyone stands in the sun, and sometimes in the shade, and sometimes in your tents, and sometimes in sitting, sometimes standing, and sometimes even laying down. You're making dua from the time of Dhuhr all the way until sunset. And this mimics the day of gathering, where everyone will stand and they're waiting for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to start the judgment.
Sheikh Nasib Noor says those preparing to undertake the Hajj should endeavor to imbibe these lessons and messages in order to earn Allah's rewards.
The quiz is next. Welcome to the quiz segment. Our last question on the program was, give the names of the two white pieces of cloth used by male pilgrims while in Ihram. The correct answer is Rida, the top one, and Izar, the bottom one. The winner is Aina Nuren from Shagamu, Ogun State. She provided the answer ahead of others. Aina Nuren will be contacted on how NAHCON will reach her with the prize she won. A quiz winner will get 25,000 Naira cash prize. This is part of NAHCON's effort in social investment in Nigeria. So far, past winners of the quiz have been paid the prize. Anyone declared winner and is yet to receive the prize can lodge a complaint using the quiz phone number. For this week, the question is, what is the name for the act of male pilgrims exposing their right shoulder during Tawaful Qudum? I repeat, what is the name for the act of male pilgrims exposing their right shoulder during Tawaful Qudum? Text your answer to the number showing on your screen. The winner will be the first person whose correct answer is received. All answers should carry name and location of sender. Good luck and happy viewing. Welcome back. Our stakeholder for the week is the National Ulama team. How is it working with NAHCON in ensuring successful Hajj operations? Find out in our next segment. Stay tuned.
How you are to lead your life.
Engaging pilgrims in this kind of enlightenment is one of the roles assigned to the National Ulama team constituted by NAHCON. This is to help pilgrims observe the Hajj rites as stipulated in Islam and by extension achieve Hajj Mabrur or acceptable Hajj. Imam Hamisu Suleiman is a member of the National Ulama team and our guest tonight on this segment. He begins by shedding light on the objectives of the team.
The National Ulama team of the Hajj is to enlighten and to put the pilgrims on the right path on how to perform their Hajj. It's very necessary for us to know that Islam is based on knowledge. That is why the first verses revealed to the Noble Prophet was to learn, read, Iqra. So in every aspect of ibadah, adoration in Islam, you have to know about it.
The National Ulama team carries out its assignments in collaboration with their counterparts in the states in the course of the Hajj.
We go to them in their houses. You see, you have the uniform, and the letter I've said earlier that we introduce you to the state, the chairman of the state pilgrims board, the overseer. You have your letter, you go to him that, yes, I'm posted to this state, so I want to talk to them, individually and collectively.
To consolidate on this effort during the 2019 Hajj, the national and state ulama teams met in Abuja where they discussed ways of working harmoniously. NAHCON acting chairman was at the event.
The moment a state ulama come in contact with a national ulama, there should be good working relationship and synergy. There should be harmony. In fact, from what I used to know of the tradition of the ulama, if there is a visiting scholar in your area, you vacate your seat and allow him to impart the knowledge, share his knowledge with other people.
When preaching to pilgrims, the ulama ensures that every pilgrim is carried along through the use of different Nigerian languages to reach out.
So there's a plan that you, Muhammad Tihami Suleiman, you have to go to Edo State because you understand English and Hausa and Yoruba. You, Malam Musa, you have to go to Borno State because you understand Kanuri, because we want to speak to them with their languages so that they will understand how to perform the rite of Hajj correctly.
Essentially, the ulama team always makes itself available to pilgrims for clarification on Hajj and other related matters. It also interprets for the understanding of pilgrims any fatwa or position taken by the Saudi Council of Ulama as it affects Hajj. An example could be the fatwa on the scheduling of the time for the pelting of the Jamarat or perform Tawaful Ifadah. At any given Arafat day, members of the National Ulama team are in the forefront when observing the national prayer for Nigeria and the world generally.
وسبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين.
The National Ulama team is making efforts to deploy the use of modern technology to expand its ways of reaching pilgrims. These include the use of different social media platforms.
That's it on this week's edition of the program As You Answer the Call. Join us same time next week for another package. Good night and thank you for watching.
إن الحمد والنعمة لك والملك لا شريك لك لبيك اللهم لبيك لبيك لا شريك لك لبيك إن الحمد والنعمة